Hey, what's up, guys? YouTube Live kept shutting off on me. I kept starting it up and it kept saying, YouTube has stopped. YouTube has stopped. YouTube has stopped. That makes it real frustrating. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Sorry for the late start. Having a rainy day here. Get some settings going on here. Got a big box from Big Badass Toy Store. Got plenty of light. Now we can see what we're doing. And let's sit there. Where's my channel? Thought I had my channel up. Forgive me. Here we go. DJH Productions. How you doing, man? Welcome. Ilhamzya Nur Uttama Putra. Test. Gotcha. Noble Young. How's it going, man? Welcome, welcome. So, I don't know if y'all could see how big this box was. It's a big box. It's not fat. It's just tall. I don't think I've ever gotten one this tall before. All I remember ordering, by the way, is Electro from I think it was the last Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie. And the reason I got it was $50, brand new, from Big Bad Toy Store. Now you have to pay for it full price, but they're giving a $175 store credit for it. So you pay $225 for it, they give you a $175 store credit, so that's $50. And for a Hot Toys, brand new, for $50, I'll find a use for it for $50. So if you don't have them and you don't mind getting them, and you don't mind dropping only $50 on a Hot Toy, I don't see it being a lose situation in any scenario. Truthfully, it might be one of those things later on down the road. You might find an affection for the movie if you didn't have it in the first place, or for what was it? Jamie Foxx portrayed Electro. Is that right? Electro. Not Electra. Electra's the X-Men, right? I don't know if you can hear the rain or not. The receipt the Big Bad Toy Store gives you. And their advertisement for stuff they got going on. They always include one of these showing you what they got going on, just in case you haven't been keeping up to date. But I don't remember getting this. It is Ant-Man from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and of course, if you guys remember, I buy the Ant-Mans and Hulks and other ones that are multi-dimensional because they can be displayed in multi-dimensions. And this figure, I do remember looking at this. I don't remember placing the order. I feel it's pretty accurate to the movie, and it matches up to what Hot Toys has showed us they're going to give us. So it's going to be a great representation with the Ant-Man from Ant-Man and Wasp from Hot Toys. So that's going to be good with that. And here is Electro. Oh, okay, yeah. This, that's it. All it's in there. This is, so what I'm doing with this, I'm going to make a kid pool. Now, I don't mean Deadpool Kid, the cowboy Deadpool, but Kid Deadpool, which is this guy. So I'm gonna make me a Deadpool kid. Kid Deadpool. It was terrible that they used those two terms, Kid Deadpool and Deadpool Kid, because they go like back and forth. And so I'm gonna make me one of these guys. And this is what I'm gonna use for that, by the way. Positive I got enough pieces here to be able to put this together. And this is the bust from the Gentle Giant set. You get a dog pool and a kid Deadpool and a squirrel pool and a head pool and a bunch of weapons. That was a limited edition set that came out a few years ago. And it's like, here's the dog pool right here that he comes with, and comes with a squirrel pool, which is pretty cool. And he comes with a head pool. I put the little grenade in there from the Sideshow Deadpool because I mean, I dig Deadpool, and because he's multi-dimensional, I mean, you can have every single Deadpool that they ever possibly made. Like, for instance, in the Spider-Verse movie, you get to see representation of pretty much every Spider-Man that there was at the end, by cartooning them all in there. And I've been gathering information on the different Spider-Men, from what universe they were in, or from the Spider-Verse movie. For instance, you know, I'm sure you guys know this, but the Miles Morales in the Spider-Man multiverse movie is not the Miles Morales in the comics. It's actually a different Earth Miles Morales. So I guess there's three Miles Moraleses. When you think about it, you have the original comic Miles Morales, you have the Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales, and then you have the Miles Morales which is referenced in Spider-Man Homecoming, when he meets his when Tom Holland's Spider-Man meets his uncle Aaron. So, by the way, I'm still digging my Cable figure, man. Jeez. If all else fails, at least we have Deadpool, right? NKSG, how you doing, man? Uni8, hello. So let's get to this Electro. I don't know why. Is there enough light, by the way? I hope there is. In my video, my end's totally frozen, if you can imagine. Jeez, I'm looking at nothing. So I hope it's all coming good here. You guys let me know, okay? It seems that the bad guys just don't get the... what's the word I'm looking for? The amount of sales that the good guys get, for whatever reason. And I'm sure there's all kinds of theories and answers as to why that is. But some of them, like Electro and the Mandarin, really seem to get totally ignored. And I have to say, especially with the Mandarin, it has nothing to do with the actor, has nothing to do with the power that the character did, conveyed to you when you're watching the movie, in my opinion. It just... I think it's because when people are limited to their collections as to what they can get, they start thinking, if I'm going to drop some money on a figure, I'm going to drop some money on, you know, the front runner, or maybe a supporting figure. And these guys just get left out. And I hope that Hot Toys or whomever doesn't think that just because they're not selling the villains, not to make the villains, because there have been a lot of villain characters that they've shown us and just didn't come to fruition. Crossbones, for instance, which I ordered the third party on that, whenever that comes out. The Rhino, which we'll never see. I can guarantee you we'll never see the Rhino. I would hope that we get to see the Vulture. I hope that we get the Black Order, but they're just bad guy figures. And you know, you can still buy the Mandarin all day long, brand spanking new from Big Bad Toy Store, and he's on sale also. If you haven't picked up a Mandarin, get a Mandarin. He's a great figure. I just have him sitting in his chair, and you know, we find out later. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen the movie, I'm going to tell you right now. We find out later that he's not supposedly really the Mandarin, and then they do this little Marvel does this little thing called All Hail the King or something to that effect. A little Marvel snippet MCU movie that you can find someplace online, where they actually bust him out of jail to bring him to the real Mandarin, because we find out then again that even Killian is not the Mandarin, even though he professes that he was. And we know that the Ten Rings still exists, or at least operatives do, because they were in the Ant-Man movie, which is way after Iron Man 3, because the guy had the tattoo on his neck that was trying to steal the technology of the Pym particle. So we know they exist. We know that there's a huge storyline, because there's a huge storyline in the comics, and it's just interesting to see it build and build and build and build, and then just kind of fall off. But then they still throw out little pieces and tidbits on there, because the Ten Rings was in there from even the very first movie. You know, that was who they had used more or less to capture Tony in the first place. So I would like to see that continue on. I'd like to see Ben Kingsley's character come back. They brought back Red Skull, which I knew they would. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you'll know that I made that comment before, that he was coming back. I just knew he was. I was really surprised at how they did it, though. It was really cool. I knew he'd been zapped away, but I didn't know all that, so it's cool. Yeah, it's the price. And like I said, $50. And it does require, like I said, you got to pay for it first off. But they're giving you $175 back. That's $50 for a hot toy, brand new, untouched by consumer hands. You don't have to worry about somebody saying, you know, kind of makes me crazy, I guess, whenever I see somebody that's posted on eBay or something. They'll say, obviously the figure's been totally opened up and totally been played with and totally been on display or something, and they'll put on there something as ridiculous as saying, I only opened it up to inspect to make sure it was all there. Really? Now, in defense of that, the warranty is only covered by the original purchaser. So, if you bought a figure that truthfully has not been opened before, and you open it up, and for instance, in an Iron Man figure, if the elbow joint is broken and the light doesn't light up because the wire in there is broken, which has happened on a lot of the Mark 7s in the past, then you can't contact anybody to get that resolved. Now, you can't buy a Mark 7 new anyhow, but you can only get the warranty support is only from the original purchaser. So if somebody buys one and they're like selling it brand new and they show you that they opened it or whatever, I guess you could hope that they checked it out and make sure that it actually worked before selling it as an open figure, even though they claim it's brand new and they never took it out of the box, yada yada yada. I just recently sold my Asmus, Stanton, and Mason the mask. I had opened it, I had taken it out of the box, but it was never displayed, and I said that in my listing on eBay when I sold it, and that's absolutely the truth. It was never displayed. It was always really in the box. It came out, and I think I talked about it on one of my live shows, but it was never displayed. So that's the absolute truth. But I always find it funny. They're like, oh yeah, I just opened it up just to make sure it's all in there. Oh, give me a break. I think maybe there may have been one time Hot Toys didn't put anything in one of my boxes. I mean, one thing was missing in one of my boxes. Oh, check this lid out. It's pretty cool. I've not seen that before. And I don't have any of the Spider-Mans from the first 5 movies. Those are, at this point, grails of mine. So I'll be probably trying to pursue a couple Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, because I love that Spider-Man, by the way. And I thought this was an entertaining movie, but like I said, I never got really into that much the original Amazing Spider-Man movies as it was, Andrew Garfield movies. I don't know, they just slipped through the cracks as far as I'm concerned. El Pachan, how's it going, man? Ruben G72, hello, hello. Robert, happy Saturday, big guy, good seeing you. Welcome, Robert, thank you very much. Is it me? The place looks brighter. No, it is me. So what I did was a couple of things. I have in the corner a lamp that always had a shade on it, and I think one time a few weeks ago I took the shade off, and it really made a big difference. And I don't know what it is. I think it's a 60-watt bulb over there, maybe a 72-watt bulb. I don't know. I think it's a 72-watt bulb. So I just flipped the lampshade up. And on this one up here, the ceiling light, it had it's a fan. I need to turn that on. As a matter of fact, I'm starting to feel a little warm. It's a fan, and it had in it two 40-watt bulbs, because right below where the fan is, excuse me, I'm rubbing my nose a lot. I just came off a huge cold. I'm not trying to be rude or weird or whatever, but forgive me. The because the light in the fan had this glass flat cover over it for the light, you can only put a 40-watt bulb in there. All right, and on top of that, the light cover was frosted, so you couldn't see through it. You couldn't even put your hand on it. You couldn't see light through it for the most part, really. So I did two things. The first thing I did is I took that off, and I was like, wow, that 40 watts on there was two bulbs in there, makes it 80 watts. Really brightened it up. And I was like, you know what? Because with this being off, I could probably increase the wattage on it, which is going to increase heat, and you don't want the heat in there to cause a fire. I was like, well, since I'll take this frosted glass off, I could probably put 260s in there. So I pumped them up to 260, so now I've got 120 watts coming down from there. And yeah, I don't even have these guys on right now. I mean, I'll turn them on if I need to for this, but man, yeah, and light is the secret. Light's always a secret in all photography. Anyone will tell you that. What you're literally doing is catching the reflection of what the light is showing you whenever, in any photography. That's the secret of photography forever. If you don't have enough light, you're not going to have an image. And I knew that was the problem. I just didn't have a solution. And the solution was right in front of my face all along. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for sticking with me. I'm buying third-party stuff lately. Yeah, man, like I said, this cable. Love this cable. Toys R Us, they're really stepping up their game. There's lots of companies out there that sell third-party. Of course, Big Bad Toy Store is where I buy. If it's being sold, first place I go is Big Bad Toy Store, because for me, the shipping and the price and everything, it's unbeatable. The next place I go is a place called 16 Kit and 16 Outfitters. They also have been really good on getting product to me quickly and reasonable rates, and I have to pay a deposit at both of those, where I don't have to pay a deposit at Big Bad Toy Store unless it's over, I don't know, $300 or something to that effect. So if Big Bad Toy Store doesn't sell it, that's where I buy it there. But there's lots of companies out there that sell the third-party stuff that licensed companies, like Sideshow is definitely 100% licensed, they won't touch, because they don't want to cause a problem with their licensors. Because as soon as you upset Marvel or Disney or anybody, dude, you're out of the game. And that ain't going to happen. You know, their gravy train is way too good to be torquing those guys off. And I don't know where Big Bad Toy Store fits in on that whole thing, but I haven't seen as many third-party pieces through them. And it might just be because they're a little more cautious in their purchases, because they have a huge inventory as well. And they might not be getting everything. But there's lots of them out there, and some of them are dead on, man. These third parties are right on place. I heard that they were going to be making a, what's the guy's name? Juggernaut. I heard that a Juggernaut was coming. I haven't seen any pictures. I've seen one of the sculpts that was working, but I don't remember whether or not that was someone from one of the third-party companies, like Toys R Us, or not. But, dude, I will drop a dime on Juggernaut immediately as soon as he comes out. Speaking of the bad guys, you have to have him. Kit Bash Die Hard figures and Feet for Bruce. I'm trying to get a Hans Gruber head sculpt. Oh, yeah, there you go. You're really going out there. Kit Bash Smallville came out really good. Less than 100, probably best, cheapest Kit Bash ever made. Came out good. So I like Smallville. There's always a Superman for every generation. And Smallville is the generation for Superman from what, the 2000s, and my generation Superman. I guess I'm gonna kind of go between Christopher Reeve and The Adventures of Lois and Clark. I forget the actor's name that played Superman there, but those are really my two Supermen that I really dig the most. And that's what's cool about Superman is I think there's always a Superman that's relatable. And they've tried to do the same thing with Spider-Man, but I think Spider-Man has always been relatable just because who he was. Spider-Man is just the kid that got bit by a spider and was automatically thrown into, with great power comes great responsibility, and they really did a good job explaining that again in the multiverse universe, because every one of them has a tragedy that happens that they end up kind of realizing or blaming themselves for, that if they had used the power that was given them, possibly that tragedy wouldn't have happened. And that's the self-guilt that every Spider-Man goes through, and it's a leap of faith and etc. Man, God, check it out. If you haven't seen it, check it out. So here's the rest of the Electro box right there. As a third-party purchaser, you tend to build a merchant circle of trust, yes, and use just a few. I try and stay away from purchasing from too many random sellers. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I've purchased off of Facebook on a couple occasions, and those went well. I've purchased off of eBay on a lot more occasions than I had on Facebook, and those are always sketchy, but it's really where you're going to get the pieces that, like I'm going to have to track down my Spider-Mans there. You know, I'm going to have to track down that Loki, the Avengers Loki that I want to add to my collection. And that's the only way you're going to find those. You're not going to get them from stores. And so you're kind of at the mercy of the community. But the good thing is that they are at the mercy of the community. And if anybody decides that they want to try to do you over, they're not going to be able to sell their stuff easily next time. You know what I mean? Because word gets out. The word gets out. Trying to get a clearance bodkill. I don't know who that is. Siri, do you know? El Pachan, how you doing, man? Do I know why Hot Toys re-released Iron Man Mark 6 PVC Shanghai version? Check Sideshow website. I seen that, and I don't know why. It makes me wonder possibly if they had old stock laying about that they hadn't sold. But I did see that, and I have to admit, I even thought about buying it again, to tell you the truth. Maybe it's because, gosh, what's the diecast one? Pushing $400, $300 and something dollars, and I think that the Shanghai version is less than $300, if I remember correctly, like $2 something, and maybe that might be why. Because I don't know how to say this. I'm excited that every year the community grows and collectors. I can't tell you how many times I get a message or one of y'all tell me that you're new to collecting, and this may be your first figure, or your fifth figure, your 10th figure, and that excites me so much. And it's like, wow, they're still attracting new people to the collection, because what I'm looking at from my viewpoint with my huge collection is I want them to finish up the Hall of Armor. I mean the House Party Protocol. I want to get the rest of the figures, the 16, the 37, the 18, the pieces that haven't been released yet, and I'm scared that interest is going to die off, and people are going to be like, oh, I don't have any interest in it anymore, and just as we were talking about Hot Toys not making the villains, they'll just decide they're not going to make the rest of the House Party Protocol, which would, oh man, that would destroy me. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's like, Pokemon, got to catch them all, right? It's the same way, man. I feel like I have to have them all. And so I'm always like, oh man, maybe the excitement for these figures are going to die off, and something new is going to come by that's shiny and pretty, and everyone's going to go on there. But I'm so excited to see new figures re-released, and that might be why the Mark 6 Shanghai edition has been re-released. And I bought that, of course, when it first came out. It's the color on it is a little differently than the others. It's a little more orange. And I did some videos on that back then when it came out. The original Mark 6 figures are kind of red with blue in them. If you know what I'm talking about, when they create the red color, it has a blue tint to it, and the Shanghai version has kind of an orange tint to it, and it looks great, and it doesn't come with any of the battle damage pieces, so it's a clean figure, which is perfect for displaying in the Hall of Armor because those are recreated figures. It's not battle damage, it doesn't come with any extra pieces, it's just a basic figure, and that might be why they're doing it for new collectors. That's what I imagine. Or it might just be old stock they're trying to get rid of. I'm not sure, but I don't think Sideshow had them laying around. I don't believe that Sideshow just bought a bunch of them back then and just had them laying around. I think it's just Hot Toys. Either they just covered a box of them sitting back in the corner someplace, a big old pallet with 1,000 of them on there, and they're like, oh no, what are we doing here? We got to get rid of these. Contact Sideshow. I don't know. Any suggestions, Ruben? Kind of getting into third party. It's cheaper and a little easier than a Hot Toys. It is, but there's also some third party that aren't as good as Hot Toys. That's why I'm really blown away by Toys R Us, what they're doing. I got a Kick Bash cart. Kent Reeve looks good, but needs a suit costume. I feel Tom Welling was a worthy successor to Chris. No offense, Cavill, but had never wanted to wear the super costume. I think you're right there. I put some stuff on my channel, not much, but I hope you check it out. Love to hear your thoughts. I will. Thank you very much. Elpachan, how's it going? Robert, what was your first hot toy? Mark 17. Yours was Reeve. Might try a Kit Bash Obadiah Stain, but need a chubby body, I think. I did not use a chubby body for my Kit Bash Obadiah. I'm not necessarily very pleased with them, but I am happy to have him. It was easy enough. With the Ironmonger, you got a Obadiah head and with his little necklace. So I just had to find a suit that I wanted to put him on, and this is what I have. I don't know if a chubby body would have worked. I don't remember him being chubby. Maybe he was. This figure stand isn't good for him, but this is my Obadiah. Right here. That's my Obadiah. How about Punisher War Machine armor? Did you pre-order? I did. As I re-examined the Punisher War Machine armor, when I first looked at it, and I thought I was examining it well, I looked at it and I'm like, come on, give me a... I said, come on, give me a break. That's... I had a back spike there, by the way. I wasn't passing gas. I looked at it, I'm like, come on, give me a break. It's a War Machine repaint, and I don't have any passion for the video game Punisher because I've never played the video game, and Punisher's a cool figure. I like the Punisher. I didn't buy the Punisher, Netflix Punisher. I wished I'd bought the Netflix Punisher. That's another grail I'm going to have to trace down on eBay. But then as I started looking at it more and more and more, and I started looking at it, I'm like, you know, it really isn't a repaint. There's actually a lot of unique pieces on it from a War Machine. And being a Marvel collector and being an armor collector of the Tony Stark armors, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be foolish if I don't get this, because I'll be sitting there a couple years down the road saying, I should have bought that War Machine. So yeah, I did pre-order it. I sure did. The Monkey Depot has some interesting stuff for 1/6 scale. Uses eBay, but do your homework first on the merchant and the store. Sideshow and BBTS need no intro. Yeah, 100%. I couldn't say it better. Red Stark on Facebook today mentioned that some Hong Kong toys are closing. People are not buying much like they used to. Interesting. I don't think it's so much so that... Rick, how's it going, man? I don't think it's that people aren't buying so much as they used to. I think it's that the market got oversaturated with people trying to make a buck off of it. And I think a lot of Hong Kong stores came up that weren't there 5 years ago. That's my opinion on that. And there are some Hong Kong stores I would love to be able to purchase from. Man, if one of y'all got a connection to Sam Kwok, dude, let me know. He is, his custom stuff is off the charts. And I contacted him through Facebook, and he says, "Where do you live?" And I told him I live in the States. He's like, "Yeah, I don't ship to the States." And so, well, that was that. And right now, I don't necessarily have the money to purchase anything that he makes. But oh my God, if you want a custom piece, if you want a piece that's unique and done beautifully, check out Sam Kwok. But yeah, if any of y'all have that authority or ability to purchase from him, dude, let me know so I can get me one of those guys. It's great. Can we get a close up? 8-inch, remember? Yeah, thank you very much. I'll get them up there real quick. A lot of source closing even here. If you could use one of the Iron Man suits, which one would you use and keep for yourself? Wow, that's a good question. Ha! Let me think about that for a minute. Are you getting Infinity War Thanos from Hot Toys? I sure am. He should be coming soon. I haven't heard anything from I think I got him from Big Bad Toy Store. I haven't heard anything from him, but I've seen that some of the guys have already been getting them. I'm hearing the Blu-ray leaving too. I'm hearing Blu-ray leaving too, but don't want it to. I like physical media. Don't trust digital. Yeah, I haven't bought a Blu-ray disc in probably 4 years. I've bought them all on digital, and I know that I've lost a couple of digital accounts because I don't remember what they were. The ones where my Batmans were on my Warner digital account, I have no idea even how to access those. Those are long gone. So I kind of regret that. But I haven't bought a Blu-ray disc in a long time, and I really have been debating uploading what discs I own onto digital. So, you know, it goes here and there. Like Voodoo is where, you know, my collection is for the most part. So when I buy a new movie now, like what I just bought the Spider-Verse movie, that came out on Tuesday, by the way, on digital, and you can buy it at Blu-ray as well. That's where my collection is on Voodoo. My Black Panther just shipped yesterday from Sideshow. Should be here next Friday or Thursday. Well, there you go. So my Black Panther should be coming shortly because I know I ordered it from Big Bad Toy Store, and they're normally a few days or a week behind Sideshow. For me, it seems sometimes, not always, it seems that's the case. Maybe they get their stock from Sideshow. I don't know. I really don't know. Double, I love it, Siri. Great. Waiting on Neo from Hot Toys. Yeah, man. The Matrix, what a movie. When that came out 20 years ago, what a thought-provoking movie. And each one, even though they're not, some people were like, well, it's not as good as the first one, and they started getting a little weird. You know, the whole story of the Matrix is revealed to you, and it's just a huge mind game, you know, and it's so funny. You know, it's really the defining character for Keanu Reeves, and what an amazing actor. It's so funny because they said he couldn't act back in the day, and he always seems to have the same face, you know, or whatever. But that face is what's needed sometimes by a character like John Wick. So, Punisher War Machine is actually a hybrid combined, yes, from previous War Machine armor, so it's kind of worth it to get it. I'm with you 100%. And the head that they're using on it is kind of like a reminiscent to the comics, which is the same way the Sideshow did with their Deadpool and with the Captain America. They kind of do like a comic rendition of an homage to the character. And it looks like that's what they're doing with the War Machine. Is this, I don't know the video game. I don't know if his head is exactly from the video game or if it's like a comics guy or whatever. But when I seen that, and now we go back to again the Netflix Punisher that I need to find. I've got to get that Netflix Punisher, man. I was like, I would rather, because I like the Daredevil and I like the Punisher. I've watched those movies. I didn't watch Defenders yet, movies, television shows. I haven't seen Defenders yet, but I was like, man, I bet you I would probably enjoy displaying that War Machine with the Netflix Punisher head sculpt. And forgive me for not knowing their names. I don't know their names. I'm sorry. I mean, I know Frank Castle, but I mean the actor that portrayed that. I just kept calling it the Netflix Punisher. But if I were to do that, I would do that. But I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't display him without his helmet, so it wouldn't matter anyhow. But yeah, there I am. I'm making an open-eye stain, Kit Bash. Forget the Iron Man suit, man. Getting hold of Cap's shield would be amazing and an honor. Oh, could you imagine? Kind of like Phil Coulson. He had this mint collection of the trading cards, Captain America trading cards. Classic villains all need suits. What figure you have there? This is Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think. Was it Amazing Spider-Man 2? It was Amazing Spider-Man 2. The last of the first five Spider-Man movies. Not talking about the Spider-Mans before the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. So those don't count. Those movies don't count. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. Eric, I'm waiting on the Mark 50, but I'm not going to buy the accessories pack later. I think it's just too expensive. What do you think? I did order the accessory pack, and I ordered it through Sideshow. Obadiah Stane, love a close-up. You got it. First villain from first Iron Man movie. Yeah. Eric, the cost on those accessories pack is through the roof. I agree. Yeah, it is a little more than it should have been. So this is a Hot Toys head sculpt of from the Ironmonger figure. Get my tape measure here. 8 inches. That's our distance. There we go. Should be right there. Let me know if I need some light on that. Let me just put some light on it. Let me move my coffee. I want another coffee problem. I don't know if you guys seen that. And let me get him up a little bit. I don't know, can you see him there, or is he not high enough? So it's just the head sculpt from the Ironmonger. He doesn't stand up without a stand. Fidget, 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 fidget. What do I need? I don't have anything. I'm gonna have to hold it. Back to 8 inches. Concentrate. Focus. Get it straight. Hot Toys head sculpt from Ironmonger. That would be a piece if they ever decided they wanted to start redoing pieces. Ironmonger. When it came out originally, it came out, every one that I've ever seen, the joints are damaged in it. And but you get this. And I don't like how this suit fits him, but he's wearing a 3-piece vested suit. Anytime you start doing the layering, it's just going to cause more and more shoulder. I mean, his shoulder is way down here, but all this cloth on top of this just makes it look like he has no neck. And I don't know if adding a longer neck on there is going to be the solution, but it probably is the solution. So this is what I've done. And I have these little shoes on him, his little watch there, and that's it. So this sculpt is, I think 2012 is when they had sculpted this. So if they were to do this again, if they were to re-release the Ironmonger, I mean, with their artistic attention to detail that they're paying nowadays to these figures, God, imagine how much more. What was his name? Bridges that played this character. Can you imagine what it would look like by today's sculpting and painting standards? I think they did a great job. And like I said, he was just designed to be just an optional way of displaying the Ironmonger if you were to pop open the head to show him inside of it. They never designed him to be put onto a body. But I displayed my Ironmonger in a fighting scene against the Mark III, so you have to have an Obadiah. And I've got him up here in the workshop, in the garage, more or less. You know, the little snake. The little snake. Ironmonger, you're a snake. Obadiah. So that's my Obadiah. Alright, let's get over here to Electro again. I'm just going to buy a whole bunch of 1/6 scale suits since all cool characters wear them. Yeah, right? Is that suit off another figure or did you buy it separate? I bought it separate. I think it was a very cool suit. That suit, and speaking of the kit bashes, I'll show you this one, which I also like a lot, and I did. This was my only Loki for a long time. And I think this was a Hot Toys head sculpt that I bought off of eBay. And then I bought this entire setup specifically as this. And I don't remember who made this. I think it also is a very cool. There we go. It's about 8 inches right there. I think it's also a very cool. Do you keep all your Hot Toys boxes? I do, but I'm running out of room. Yes, I do. So I was insane, and I was taking the cardboard boxes and putting them in the outside shed. You know, the shippers, brown shippers, and putting the other boxes in the garage. So on the one side of my garage, there's a shelf that extends over the car, and it is as long as the car is, and about half as wide as the car is, so it's probably about I think it's 5 feet deep. So this shelf, 5 feet deep, 15 feet long, probably 3 feet, 2 to 3 feet tall, is full of Hot Toys boxes. The colored boxes with the styrofoam or the plastic or anything or whatever is inside of them there. And I've run out of room there. And so what I decided to do, I'm going to bring back out of the shed my shippers. A lot of them I had sliced flat so I could store them. I'm going to put these guys back in the shippers and start using the shed outside for them. You have to keep the boxes, man, if you ever want to resell them. There's a big difference between the price on selling it without the box and selling it with the box. I've watched Budget Stark destroy Hot Toys boxes, and he's got to do what he's got to do, but I am not down with that. Do you have a Hot Toy Wolverine from Days of Future Past? Please show us if you have it. I do not. And it's not because I don't have any problem with the X-Men or the universe. It's just that keeping up with the Avengers has been a feat in itself. I don't know if you guys can hear my neighbor. 7:45 in the morning out there, taking care of his lawn on a Saturday. Thank God I'm not sleeping. Is there a channel I can't stand? PewDiePie. PewDiePie turks me off, man. Obadiah Stane, Phil Coulson, Harvey Dent, Alfred Gordon, Jonathan Crane, Hans Gruber, Dick Jones, Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent. If you buy kit bashes, just buy 51/6 scale suits. Obadiah looks great. Thanks, Robert. Nice, sweet. Yeah, just gonna buy 51/6 scale. The biggest problems with kit bashes are the connections. Lebanon, Florida. The biggest problem I have with them is the getting the hands and the feet and the necks and all that to fit perfectly. So they don't have like a universal standard connection of head to post and hand to arm and foot to post. There's no international standard for that. It's not like every figure and every body and every hand and every foot's going to fit them all. So you have to buy all these different adapters, and that is a problem as far as I'm concerned. And heights go, and sometimes feet go inside the shoes, and sometimes shoes don't have any feet, and that makes it difficult like that. But this is the other kit bash I'm really pleased with. I really enjoy this Hot Toys, this Loki, and I think it's a Hot Toys head sculpt, and then the body was all the kit, and so I didn't have to bash it in regards to finding all the pieces. I bought all the pieces, and see now this suit fits him better than Obadiah's. So I love this, but I call it a kit bash because it doesn't come complete. The one I need to get, I haven't ordered it yet, is the Black Panther T'Challa in like his throne, because I bought the throne and I need to get the black with the white outfit that he wears. Megatron 1, thanks for stopping in. I enjoy sharing. We forget about Electro. Yeah. Big Bad Toy Store. You pay full price of $225 plus tax. They give you a $175 store credit, which means you're only paying $50 for him. Because you can use that store credit for anything else. And unless you're only buying one figure ever, come on, don't tell me you're not going to spend that $175 on something else, like a Mark 7 die-cast. Get your second Mark 7 die-cast, or your third Mark 7 die-cast, or your fourth Mark 7 die-cast, or your fifth Mark 7 die-cast. Green Weeaboo, I can't think of one Iron Man suit that I would want just one. I mean, obviously, if I'm getting just one, it'd have to be the Mark 50, because it's not really a suit, it's just that piece. You can make it in any suit that you want. But that's kind of cheating. You know what I mean? That's like, oh, come on, that's a cheat. You can't say that. That's not fair to say that, you know, because that's like the most versatile suit. You'd have to, I guess you'd have to limit it back. So, then you have to then consider, are you going to do the implants? You know, are you going to... One suit, if I were to have one suit to wear, it's tough, man. Mark 17 was the first one. I really like that suit a lot. One suit to wear. Can't think of one. One exactly. Mark 50 would be the answer, truthfully, but that's a cheat. There's no real thought process into the Mark 50. I love Denobi's videos with Black Widow. I am happy to say that Denobi is a friend of mine. I've talked with him many times on through YouTube and through Facebook, and I would love to meet him in person. And it truly is back to it being a small community. We all have the same passion, and what a talented guy he is. He really brings his videos to life, and I really get a kick out of him. And his cinematography, the way he films, is off the charts, man. Does a good job. I like these big diamond pieces. Call them a diamond because of that shape right there. But sometimes they're a hassle. But you can put a couple of things on there. So I don't know if I'm going to display this or not. Probably not. Instruction manual. Big tall posts. Gotta like that. It's almost a necessity for these diamond pieces if you're putting the figure on the ground, because you bend it like this and kind of do like an S to get them to put them down here. For instance, I will show you on my Deadpool from the first movie, because I have him on that stand. So that's what I did in order to be able to display him there. I haven't displayed him in a action pose, which is really what it's designed for. So you can have him flying through the air, kicking or shooting or falling or flipping or whatever. And I don't know why they did the Electro, because I don't remember him necessarily being that animated. I haven't seen the movie in many years. So again, fault me for not watching the movie before doing a review of the figure. But this is how I end up having to display these, to put them on the ground. But this is how I displayed my first Deadpool. This is a chicken from the Sideshow Deadpool, by the way. And this is his unicorn from Deadpool 2. And of course the little neck thing from Deadpool 2. So that's what I've got here. It's Deadpool. I mean, you can't go wrong with Deadpool, truthfully. I think everyone I think everyone can relate to Deadpool in some capacity if you're a Marvel fan. I can't imagine being a Marvel fan and not having some type of a connection to Deadpool, because he talks to you, you know? He's there, literally talking to you through the comic or whatever. He's aware of you as you are aware of him. Zip it, Thanos. Batteries. Lobster claw with the back piece. There's the bottom. Mark 45 would be mine. I like the Mark 45. Where's my Mark 45? My Mark 45. My Mark 45 is right here. So, the way I have my Mark 45 is displayed is such. And next to him, I have my Mark 46 concept. And the reason I have a Mark 46 concept here, and by the way, they stand up perfectly without their figure stands. Very well built figures. Is I have my actual Mark 46 over here hosed up against Captain America, shooting his repulsors onto Cap's shield. Next to my Mark 46 concept, I have Mark 47, Spider-Man Homecoming, same suit, painted differently. And I need to go back in there and look at the differences on this, because I remember when I did the original video, I pointed out all the differences. There was about 6 different differences, but then when the piece came out, I couldn't find those differences anymore. Like a little line, I think, on his thigh or something is different, or his bicep or something. And I could only find like 1, when before I found like 6. So I need to compare this figure to my video to see what differences that I saw then that I don't see now. And then next to my Mark 47, I have my Spider-Man homemade suit. I have him posed as such. But yeah, Mark 45 is a good suit. Each one, the technology improves on them. So, yeah, I guess you'd have to ask yourself, going with an older suit, are you going to use the current technology? Or are you going to go with the old technology? Prevision? Going with the Friday AI? Spidey back there so you can see him. And with the Mark 50, and I can imagine if the Mark 50, if he wanted to make a Mark 17 suit, he could make a Mark 17 suit. You know? I couldn't imagine him not being able to do that, now that I think about it. So it's kind of like cheating, Mark 50 is. Have any suit. I really want to see the 49/48 confirmed. Truthfully. That's what I really want to see. I've seen a lot of companies or things state what the 49 or 48 are, and I did a video about it, like, God, maybe 2 years ago, what my opinions on what the 49 and 48 were, and I don't necessarily stand behind those opinions anymore, but it's still a good discussion to have. Pretty sure Hulkbuster 2 is one of those. Pretty sure it's probably 48. Hey Siri, I love your kit bash of Deadpool 2 Vanisher. Hey, do you know who the Vanisher is? You know who the Vanisher is? Who portrayed him? I wonder how many of y'all do. I'll tell you in a minute if you don't know. If you do know, go ahead and shout it out. If you don't know, I'll let you know. No cheating. Don't look it up. I'll reveal it if you don't know it. And I have not seen Doom Patrol. It does look good. Dark Phoenix new trailer thoughts. I think they're trying to find a home for X-Men. X-Men has been... Bryan Singer really jacked at them, didn't he? I'm looking forward to trying to get the Iron Man gantry piece. I love the gantry. I love them. You talking about the square gantry, not the round gantry, right? The original gantry. Oh man, yeah, I have two of those. I have the original and I have the re-release, and love them both. Do I still have a stockpile of unopened Hot Toys? No, not anymore. Not anymore. Where's my newest rival? This guy right here, Electro. Hi, what's going on, Jason? Welcome to the channel. I'd like to get a pre-posed Mark 46 or Mark 7 just to turn on all the lights on it easier. Yeah, yeah, like the Power Pose or whatever was the one. Brad Pitt. There you go, Noble. Sure enough is. The Vanisher is portrayed as by Brad Pitt. And the story goes that Brad did it for a price of a cup of coffee. That's what they claim. He appeared in the movie for the price of a cup of coffee. Brad Pitt is the Vanisher. So if you want to get past your Vanisher, you need an invisible Brad Pitt. Should be the cheapest kit bash you ever made in your life, right? Brad Pitt, yes sir. I just want Disney to do X-Men right. Yeah, come on. And I want my movies to be the formula that the MCU has used over the past 10 years has worked. You know what I mean? They hooked us in. We want to live in that universe. We want to escape when we're watching these movies. We want to get excited. We want to feel emotional. We want to feel passionate. We want to feel angry at the bad guys. We want to feel sad. We want to be elated when Pepper gets pregnant. We want these things to be a part of our lives. We don't want to go in there and get schooled. We want to go in there and be beat up. We don't want to go in there and be told how bad of a person we are. We don't need that. You know? I can go talk to my neighbors over here if I want to be told that. I can go into the grocery store and be treated like a piece of trash. You know, I can drive down the street and get flipped off. I don't need that in a movie theater. I don't need that from my Marvel characters. And if that's the direction that they're going to start going, there's going to be a problem. They're going to start losing some money. And if that's what Disney's plan is for the Marvel movies, that's my thought on that. Ava from Ex Machina. I don't know her. Sorry to say. Pokemon movie with Ryan Reynolds looks good. I haven't heard anything about that. What do you mean by Pepper getting pregnant? Oh, I'm sorry. Is that a spoiler alert? I don't, you know, in Infinity Wars, when they're talking in the park, Tony's talking about this dream that he has. So I guess I'm kind of supposing that that's what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's what we want, right? These are cool. I never really know how to best display this kind of thing. You know, I've got my Thor, I've got my Scarlet Witches, I've got my, who's the other one that has these little things on him? I think the other Thor has them on him. And they, Whiplash. They're so weird. But these are cool. The colors on these are really neat. Can you see this? That's neat. And it's three-dimensional more so than the others. It's like double layered there. I just don't think that there's enough thought put into the writing of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. It's never grabbed me. I mean, Avi Arad was in charge still at that point, or was in charge at that point, of course, still. He's still in charge. And, but even in the Spider-Verse movie, they made references to Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I don't remember them making many references at all to the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. A lot of times these are identical. I'm trying to see if they're identical. No. Close. Little differences, subtle differences. Pokemon, gotta catch them all, man. I'll have to see the movie. I didn't know that there's I didn't know. I'm sorry. I missed that. When did that trailer drop? Just replace actress like they did with Rhodey. So I love Cuba Gooding. I think he's a great actor. Toby, what was that movie he did? Show Me the Money movie, and I loved him in As Good as It Gets, and I was really looking forward to him being Rhodes after the first movie. And I guess there was just some creative differences and some disagreements on things, and I guess it was a mutual leaving from the first place. And I think Cuba has even said that when they initially signed on, when they initially used him as Rhodes, they kind of had the discussion with him in the first place that he really wasn't what they were looking for all along. So I don't know if there was any real hatred there or a love for it, but you'll see it. You can find interviews where he talks about it. So I've thought about making a Cuba Gooding Rhodes kit bash, maybe a uniformed Air Force uniform kit bash of him. I don't know how hard that would be to do. I would like to get a Rhodes kit bash, no matter in an Air Force uniform. I think he deserves that. He really does. I think he deserves to be in uniform. Is he a colonel, or is he still a lieutenant colonel retired? He's retired now, I think, isn't he? Did he retire as colonel? Is he Colonel Rhodes, or is he still lieutenant colonel? I think it says retired on his thing, though. Captain Marvel. See, that's a movie I'm really scared of. I've ordered the Captain Marvel figure, and I will go to see the movie next week. And I'm probably going to say that if I walk out of the movie with a bad taste in my mouth, I will cancel my order. That's the truth. I'm going to tell you right now. Love me or hate me for it, but I'm not going to spend $300 on a figure if I walk out of the movie thinking, what? So, hate to say that, but that's the truth. That's the truth. But I'm going into it without prejudice in the first place. I'll let them make up their mind how they're going to show me a movie. I've not heard a single review of the movie. I don't know if the preview, if it's been reviewed by movie reviewers yet. I'm not even going to listen to a review. I'm gonna make my own mind up. And if it's a movie, like I said, that I walk out with a bad taste in my mouth, I'm gonna cancel my figure. That's all there is to that. I'm not gonna put any money to a movie that I didn't enjoy. That's the truth. I hate to say it. I hate that that's even a discussion in a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? I hate that that's even something that could possibly even be up for discussion. That shouldn't even be a discussion. I like the Rogue from the original X-Men movies. I don't remember who played that. I like the original X-Men movies until they started doing all this time traveling, and I can't even keep track with who's with what. And they started killing all the X-Men. Come on, don't Michael Bay out your characters, if that makes any sense. Don't have to kill your characters to show us that you love them. We really don't want our characters. We really don't want our characters dead. Does that make any sense? Who wants to be invested to be to be invested into a character just for him to die. Does that make any sense? I mean, if you've been playing a character for 10 years, you know, not that I'm saying Tony Stark should die or Captain America, but if you've put a lot of work into them and the character really can only ascend to greatness through death, then yeah. But don't just be killing off your characters. When they started killing all the X-Men off after, like, on the second movie, it's like, come on, give me a break. Is that too much light, dude? Let me know. Sophie Soish, would you rather have Hot Toys put on pre-order Vulture or Crossbones or Yellow Jacket? Oh, man. Well, Crossbones third party is already out, and it did a pretty good job of it. I mean, it's not out, but pre-order's out, and I have that on pre-order, so I'm not going to say Crossbones for that reason. I have the 1/9 scale Yellow Jacket. I've ordered the 1/12 scale Yellow Jacket, so I have a 9th and a 12th. I really would like a Hot Toys Yellow Jacket. So that's an easier pick because that figure would only be, you know, whatever, $300 or whatever. But, you know, I have the King Arts Yellow Jacket here. You can see him there in the background. And I love him. And he's like, completes the story. Vulture, I would love Vulture. I love Michael Keaton. It's so funny because he was the 1980s Batman. It's funny to see him in a Marvel movie. And he did a great job with that. But it would be $1,000 figure. Guarantee you. I don't think it's going to be built. Just like I don't think the Yellow Jacket's going to be made. I would like to see either of those. Terrence Howard was Rhodes and Iron Man 1. Why did I say Cuba Gooding Jr.? It wasn't Cuba. Terrence Howard. Oh my God. Was it Terrence Howard? What is wrong with me? In credit show, Captain Marvel walking towards screen saying, "Men are pigs." I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with her saying men are pigs. I've heard that my entire life. I don't have a problem with that. That doesn't bother me. Hot Toys abandoned Electro. They did not. No, he's been around for a long time. Okay, I got a good one. Would you have signed the Sokovia Accords or no? I wouldn't. I'm with Cap all the way. You know, the Mutant Registration Act kind of is what the Sokovia Accords were. You know, the Mutant Registration Act was something I think started in the 90s in the comic book storyline. And that was one of the big things because if you remember, Spider-Man is not a mutant. He's a regular kid who got bit by a spider, and which gave him the superpower abilities. Whereas mutants are those that either were born with the power or the power came on them through their adolescence or even later in life. And it showed up through that because they had a mutant gene. And so that was, from my understanding, Spider-Man didn't have to register in the Mutant Registration Act. And I think that's what the big difference was there. But it's kind of like gun ownership here in America. The big debate always is states that require background checks and licensing and registering of your firearm so that the government knows where it is. Specifically, so if they ever decide they want to take away your rights, they can knock on your door and demand the firearms that you've registered with them and strip you of any way of defending yourself, either against them or against anyone else. And so that's always a really touchy subject there. And that's a real personal question, something that everybody deals with themselves. You know, if you happen to be in a state that doesn't require any of that, then you've got nothing to worry about. And that's really what that whole thing is. And see, those types of messages and stories are great because that's thought provoking, and that makes you deal with yourself on a basis that's not necessarily a personal attack against you. The Sokovia Accords kind of took into consideration like anybody that had any type of superpower. So it was beyond just the Mutant Registration Act. Spider-Man would have been involved in the Sokovia Accords, where if you were, anybody that had any special ability, you had to sign off onto it or whatever. Dude, give me a freaking break. That's insane. That's insane. Governments are great. They ensure your freedom, or, well, I don't know about that. But there's always a little bit of anarchy that's required. You can't fully trust anybody with everything. You can't fully ever trust anybody to be in charge of everything unanswerable. And whenever you would sign on a Sokovia Accord or a Mutant Registration Act or gun control, then you're giving somebody other than yourself complete and utter responsibility over you. It's like motorcycle helmet laws and seatbelt laws. I think they're great in both aspects of what they do for you. I believe a seatbelt saves your life. I believe a motorcycle helmet keeps your brain intact in regarding up to a crash. But for a government to tell you are required to wear a helmet, required to wear a seatbelt, that's where I think the government has overstepped their bounds. Now you're telling me what I can personally do with my body. Me putting my head in a helmet on a motorcycle has nothing to do with you. Me wearing a seatbelt in my car has nothing to do with you. I harm only myself through my action or inaction in regards to abiding or not following that rule. But whenever the government says I have to do that, that I think is overstepping their bounds. And I think that anybody that thinks that it's okay for the government to tell you that you have to do something like that, they really don't have any self-respect for themselves, truthfully. It's like if the government says that you have to cut your hair. Give me a freaking break. What does my hairstyle have to do with anything? I mean, it's as silly as what it is. If you decide you don't want to wear a helmet and you get involved in an accident on your motorcycle and the helmet could have saved your life, well, then that's your own fault. If you know the brain damage, it's your own fault. So whenever the government says you have to do something like that, that's outside their responsibility and their place as far as I'm concerned. That's ridiculous. I hear the new Godzilla movie, he tiptoes through the city instead of destroying buildings. What? You should put 2 light bulbs in Electro's hands. Spidey or Deadpool reading a book next to him. Yeah, that'd be cool. You should watch Pete Holmes' YouTube video. X-Men is so funny, especially Xavier Magneto's kid. Or Robot Chicken Roof Mansion. Government made Superman a lackey, and Flashpoint made him a guinea pig. In Justice, he's a dictator. So we have a single suit here, and a lot of times in these suits you have limited mobility. So let's see what we have. And yeah, we have that. You can't go forward much because it springs back, and you can't go back much at all. We have a double jointed knee, which also can't go back much. This is glued on. Be careful in posing that because you'll rip these apart. All one big boot, which is going to limit your foot posing there, and it does. So not much foot posing there. Not going to be much posing with this guy, really. And I don't do much posing with them anyhow. I just kind of stand them there as it is. This appears to be, it's not. Yeah, it is. Is it? Looks like this is transparent, but I can't really tell. I need something light. No, it's not transparent. It looked like it was this plastic piece on his bodice. It appeared that it was transparent. It's not. It's all solid. It's like it's glued on there. It's cool colors. Black and blue. I love blue characters. I love Yondu. Oh, that's neat. Oh, I think his head lights up, doesn't it? There's a battery here. You have just the one head sculpt. You have translucent fingers here. And translucent fingertips here. So you have two of these and two of these. So two relaxed hands, glove, fingerless. The translucent fingers, two grasping or reaching or pressing hands with translucent fingers, and then you have solid blue hands, two the same grasping hands, and two solid fists of the blue, dark blue. Dark blue compared to Yondu's light blue. Same thing with the elbow here. The suit really restricts that. Ratcheted elbow, which is great for getting it to one single position. Extend all the way straight to that elbow point there. Again, this is a piece that's glued on. And why is that important to know is to be careful in posing it, because you'll separate these. So you know, you don't want to press them up as far as he can go, because it's possible you can pop this off. So keep that in mind. The suit really restricts his movement. And that's really what it gets down to is, do you want the suit to be accurate and to look believable, or do you want the movement? And for the most part, a lot of my figures just don't get posed into dynamic poses where they're actually doing something. Most of them are in just static museum standing Undertaker poses where they're just standing there. And in that instance, I really want an accurate looking figure, truthfully. So I'm going to go for accuracy over not. It's got a zipper on the back here for his suit, so you could take it off if you wanted to. Neck piece comes off there. I wonder what his body is underneath. Curious. Give him a little zip, see if he's got a blue body underneath. Does his chest light up too? You guys know? Is that why it zips up? Got a fat suit on underneath there. I'm obsessing now. Black body. Black plastic body. Little fat suit. See if you can line them up, see what the batteries look like. They've been in a box for 3 years or whatever it's been. Judge Dredd did have some crazy laws. If you've never read the book 1984, read the book 1984. I don't care what you may think you know about the movie or the story, or if you think that you don't need to read it because you know the story, you need to read 1984. I can't believe that people are so blindly just allowing our government to do what our government's doing currently. Sheesh. Read 1984. George Orwell got it right. He just got the year wrong. Should have named it 2024. Electro does belong to the Blue Man Group. There you go. With Yondu and Mystique. I pre-ordered the third-party Mystique, and I have not seen hide nor hair of that. Have you guys seen that figure come out? Can you show us Yondu? Certainly. And Smurfette. Be careful, you might damage the suit. Yeah, I'm with you, Jason. Still wish you could press Yoda's belly. And what the hell are you doing? I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Was he cool? Yeah, he's cool. Mary Poppins, y'all. I loved Yondu. Kind of hated they killed him. Why is this come with so many batteries? That's my question. And what did I do with my batteries? That's my other question. Where are my batteries? I guess I should look at the instruction manual. Why would I ever want to do that? You should always read your instruction manual. Always. Where do these other batteries go? I just opened them up and I didn't see anything inside there. No, I have not seen how it should have ended. I'm hoping when I wake up I see an alert saying Ant-Man has released. What in the world? How can I not open this up? Having to use scissors to get into an instruction manual. By the way, I watched Bohemian Rhapsody last night. The story of Queen, or essentially Freddie Mercury. God, what a powerful movie. He did a really good job on it. Why? I'll tell you one better. Why is Gamora? Alright, so it uses 2 batteries in the head, and the other batteries go in the arms. Well, why are they showing a paintbrush? Don't get the suit in touch with sharp objects. Fire or heat to avoid material damage. Don't rub the suit with thinner, benzene, alcohol, or any corrosive materials to avoid material damage. Let's put these batteries in here. Batteries. Batteries. These be batteries. I guess it helps if I take the cover off the battery cover to get to the batteries. Instead of just trying to tip them out with them still sealed up. Y'all didn't see that. Pretend y'all didn't see that. I seen Live Aid when it was live back in 1985. What an amazing show. I mean, I wasn't there. I seen it on TV. They're broadcasting it live. Love these little King Arts tweezers, man. I just put them batteries right in there. Whoa! Look at that. Will you look at that? That is really cool. Where's that power switch? Check this out. Oh, come on. I'm pushing the batteries. I don't have them in there right, so that's why it's flashing. So, oh, come on. I'm trying to get my finger in here so I can turn it on and off. Come on. That's off. That's on. Look at that. That's cool. That's really cool. $50, man. $50. That's really neat. I'm impressed. That's cool. Can't go wrong there. Special figures Antonio Banderas, Anthony from Ant-Man. I have not seen that. Mario meets Batman, one of my favorites. Mario fights with Superman and Batman insisting he's a superhero, too funny. How's this come off? Just pull off? It says it just pulls off. There it goes. Still waiting to see Paul Rudd sculpt. It's almost been a year and they still haven't shown it yet. Really? You talk about in Ant-Man Wasp? I like the custom head Paul Rudd. I've not seen a custom head Paul Rudd. You turn off lights to see lighted head. Do you need? Okay, I can do that. Turn the overhead off. Can y'all see that? Look at that. That's pretty cool. Need me to turn another light off also? I'll stand up there. Here's the back of his head. Here's the top of his head. I like that. I like that a lot. That looks cool. They did a really good job with that. $50. Body color is black. Body is black. Yeah, this really looks cool. And it really looks cool. Let's put these batteries. Let me zip the suit back up. I don't know if you've seen. That's the body. It's black. Black plastic body. With a fat suit underneath it. There we go. In the world? Oh, here it is. Thought the little zipper piece came off. Little handle for the zipper. Just got tucked underneath his little suit here. Get the suit back up. this on. See what his little hand looks like. It's nice to see those batteries working after so many years in the box. When was this again? Anybody know when this figure first came out? 2015 maybe? I have not seen the Black Panther lit up. I've seen Hot Toys pictures of him, and it looks amazing, but I've not seen a reviewer. I try not to watch reviewers' stuff before it, because I like giving you guys my initial impression on things. I don't know if that's a flaw. Maybe I should, so I know what to expect, but I like being surprised. It's like Christmas. You know what I mean? And I'm certainly not the first person. I'm certainly not the first person to get my figures. I hate that. I hate being so down on the list. I'm like probably the last person to get them, who's ordered them on the day that they get announced. Yeah, I do love my Civil War Black Panther. I bought the third-party head sculpt. Oh, yeah, I told you I was going to show you Yondu. Alright, so I have this Yondu. They only made one Yondu. So I did this with him. And so even though that's not how Groot was, that's how I did Groot. So this really isn't accurate, but it's what I did. And I like it. And so I've got him holding his coat back for his little arrow there with the original controller there. I'm loving this. And I bought two of these because I love Yondu so much. Give you a close-up of him whilst I get the other, my other Yondu. See if you'll stand there for a second. Is that too tall? How's that? Let's see if I can reach my other Yondu. And this is how I displayed my other Yondu. So with the new prototype arrow controller, and I combined the little swirly pieces from both sets to make this one. I like how that turned out. Yeah, I don't know why Hot Toys didn't make the head sculpt. I bought the head sculpt third party and I think they did a great job making them. True, I still like it mainly as add-on to the other heroes. James Earl Jones would have made an awesome T'Chaka. Yeah, they kind of missed that, didn't they? I remember how long it took for a Spider-Man tech suit to ship after it was released. In January, I got mine in April. Too long a wait. They both look different. Wish they made the first. Yeah. They do look different, don't they? But it's exact same Hot Toys figure. Here. Exact same figure. And that's why I bought two. Because I wanted to be able to display him in this configuration and in this configuration. And I really like how I was able to pose the arrow. I think it really tells a story of how it kind of just flies about crazily. So I've got it swooped up through the little circle there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Swooped up through the circle, and then around his neck, and then right there, and then back forward again. I like how that turned out. You can almost imagine the arrow flying like that, right? Love my Yondu, Michael Rooker. What a piece. What's his name? You know, that's the brother to the director of Guardians of the Galaxy. He is also famously known for being Gilmore Girls, the kind of the rich guy in the Gilmore Girls that you never heard about, and the he is also I don't know. I'm gonna start telling lies here, so I'll shut up. But he's the brother of the director, Gunn, James Gunn. That's his brother. I guess Mark 7. Oh my God, yes, Giovanni, you're right, man. But the helmet sculpt is off, really, and it really bugs me. Kind of wish I didn't notice it. What did you think? I didn't know that the helmet sculpt was off. What are you talking about? Stan Lee as a Watcher. Yeah, that's been a fan theory for many years that Stan Lee was a Watcher, and we'd always hoped that they would kind of reveal that. We kind of see him where he's up there on the planet, telling them, kind of giving a report of everything that he'd seen. Makes you wonder if that's really what it is. Is Diecast Mark 7 out? I've not seen it out yet. No, I haven't seen anybody out with it yet. Yondu, that's awesome. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. And well, let me show you that. What's Black Panther head sculpt, the third party head sculpt that I think they did a really good job of. So this is the original Black Panther from Civil War we were talking about earlier. This is how I have him displayed. And I have no idea, like you were saying, and I agree. Why did Hot Toys not give us a head sculpt? It doesn't make any sense. So that's a third-party head sculpt right there. Love to have a 1/6 Stan Lee Watcher. I love my Stan Lee, and of course, when he passed, they were being sold for exorbitant prices, $800 and up. And I love my Stan Lee. I bought him when he first came out. He's been watching over me. Had him sitting by my desk for a long time. There's a couple Stan Lees that they made. One was a Hot Toys, and one was Executive Replicas, I believe, which came with a bearded Stan. There's Stan. You guys can see him there. He may be too low. Don't know. Let me know. But yeah, the new Black Panther comes with a head sculpt. But I am probably going to display the new Black Panther with his helmet on, with his eyes through the helmet. And I'm wanting to buy that third-party civilian clothing Black Panther suit, and then I'll probably put the head sculpt on that. So either the Hot Toys head sculpt will go on that one that I already just showed you, the Civil Wars, or it'll go on that third-party outfit, or one or the other. Here's my Stan Lee. Which gun was still, yeah. 10 years ago, everyone knew it was there. It's freaking people being stupid. this or that. I don't know who made it, and it was years ago. I don't know if you good luck trying to find one, to tell you the truth. But with the new Black Panther, probably even out now, start checking eBay because there are kit destroyers is the term really for them, who buy these figures and sell them piece by piece. And on one side of the coin, it's like, oh, what are you doing, man? You're destroying this beautiful Hot Toys piece or whatever. Another side of the coin is like, oh yeah, now I get me a new head sculpt or an extra set of hands or anything along that line. For instance, when first Doctor Strange came out, they didn't include this. They didn't include this hand on either side, which is how he does his, his casting. He does this, and that wasn't included in the original hand sculpts of the original Doctor Strange. So I had to buy an extra set of hands because I certainly wasn't going to destroy the hands that came with it, but I had to make this. So I bought an extra set of hands and folded over some of the hands. Not only did I make this, I made another piece too, because I think there's something else that he does, like I don't know, this or something he does as well that wasn't included. And so I made those two hands from an extra set of hands that I bought on Kitbasher. Same thing with my Iron Man 3, the arrival of the House Party Protocols that I have with all the flames underneath there. I bought all those flames. And when I'm gluing the flames onto the hands and the feet, I certainly don't want to destroy my hands and my feet of my Hot Toys figures. So I bought extra hands and feet. So my Mark 21 Midas, my Blue Steel, my Mark 15, my Silver Centurion, my Mark 39 Star Boost, Mark 17 Heartbreaker, my shotgun, Mark 40 shotgun. I have extra hands and feet that I bought of those 7 figures just so I could glue the flame onto them to pose them in their flight status with the fire effect coming out from underneath them and on their hands too. So I'm thankful for those guys for those reasons. Or when I bought my Mark 6 or 4, I forget which one it was, original release one, and the little rockets on the arms came to me broken from the guy I bought it from on Facebook. So pay attention when you're buying your stuff from these guys. And I had to replace them. I'm thankful that somebody had bought that just to take the piece apart and sell the pieces, because I bought those replacement pieces for that. Or on my Mark 21, I think it was on Mark 21, the elbow didn't work. So I had to buy a whole new arm just to be able to have a light up arm on that. So I'm thankful for those guys. But it's the other side of the coin, I'm like, oh man, you're destroying Hot Toys. So you'll get your Black Panther that way. I guarantee you someone's going to be selling a head sculpt. It's probably going to cost $70 or $80. Quality head sculpts are hard to come by. You actually need to find forums and get on a purchaser's list. Yeah, there you go, Ruben. You hit the nail on the head. Do you have a forum that you're familiar with or that you like? If you feel, I felt that way for RoboCop helmet head, but no unhelmeted head, right? Now, do you mean like before he became RoboCop unhelmeted head like that? Or do you mean like unhelmeted head like where we see that he's the human inside the mask? Which unhelmeted head are you referring to? I started taking this screw out here and I didn't get very far on it. One in the head came out easily. This one's not coming out so easily. I want to see how well these light up the little fingers. I may need to buy a new set of screwdrivers. There we go. Parts is parts, but keep your parts together. Oh, what's this? Okay. Snaps in a little clip there, and I was wondering why it wasn't coming out properly. It's because a little clip was there. So it looks very similar to the way they would do like an Iron Man suit. This is pretty cool how they did that. I like that. There's many times when they do something and you're like, oh, that's ingenious, and then they don't do it again. The Iron Legion suit, another thing. Like, why did they only make just one of those, by the way? But they really did an amazing job on the Iron Legion suit in regards to how everything was put together and how everything came apart, and I was like, oh, this is ingenious. They should continue doing this, and they didn't. They didn't. Subsequent Iron Man suits, I would have thought for a fact, would have continued on with the manner that they made the Iron Legion, which is ingenious. They didn't. I don't know why. Surprised that these batteries are still good. I wonder if these are the same batteries that should be in Cable's eye. I could test that because his eye was really dimly lit, and I was blaming it on the batteries. But then, so after I do my videos, then I'll watch other guys' videos, and another person's that had got the cable and put the battery in, his eye did not light up very bright either. So I'm starting to worry if it is a problem with the figure. My goodness. If you ever watch any of my videos, man, I have problems with these batteries, dropping them all the time, shooting all over the place. This one's really easy to get into, and I'm having problems with it. Alright. So, meh. Neither here nor there. So the fingerless gloves, you can barely see any real difference there between on and off. I suppose if it's pitch black, it would be, but very minor, if at all. So let's take off the fingerless gloves and see what. Well, there is no other, just fingerless gloves. So it's not really, it's not very bright at all. Come on, get on there. So that's on, off. Not much effect at all. It's neat, but it's not much effect at all. It's not really worth it. I suppose if it's, like I said, if it's pitch dark, it would be, but not really worth it. The head's on. The head is right on target the way that lights up. No doubt about it. Well, in-game figures, I'm going to start selling my body parts. No doubt. No doubt. The madness will never end, it seems. I have no problem with that. I was kind of worried. Kind of worried. But if they ever can't find a figure to sell, you know, if Hot Toys is like, oh, we've made all the figures, we just can't, there's nothing we can make any money on. Dude, start cranking out the ones you didn't make before. I'll buy them. As long as I can relate to the movie or the figure or the character, or it plays a pivotal part in the story, I'm with it. As long as I'm not offended by it. Something sticky here. This was... I wonder if these are the same on both sides, so I kind of took them off. Yeah, no. I think, if I remember correctly, this one was on this one, I think. I hope. It's the one's going back on it. So I hope I did it right. Otherwise, I got it backwards. Let me get this cable over here and check his eye here in a quick moment. With these batteries, which seem to be pretty fresh. Love my cable figure. If you guys haven't picked up a cable figure, I'd recommend him if you can find him. Third party Toys R Us made him, and there's a premiere version and the standard version. Especially if you're a Deadpool guy, whether you're a cable guy or not. And it really isn't like faithful to the comics cable, but it's cable from the movies. So that's what's important, right? So we're going to use these batteries right here, because when I put the batteries in last week, the eye was really weak, and I was afraid that it was because the batteries were old. I don't know if that was the case or not. I'm definitely going to put in these batteries, and these batteries should light them up. The problem is if they use the red light. I'll tell you if that's what they did. That's the problem. Red requires the most juice to light up. It's all the way at the other end of the spectrum. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, ultraviolet. And that's why there's such a problem with the War Machine reds. White is the easiest to light up because it's really a combination of all the colors, which make the white light, and white breaks down into all the colors. Red is the hardest to make bright. So if that's why, because they use a red bulb, then that's going to be probably it. If they used a white bulb, that would have been better. Performing surgery. Jeez. Come on. No, it's just not bright. Kill this light here. neat. You know what they should have done? The switch is loose. My switch is loose. Part of the problem. Can't get the switch fully engaged. Alright, so how can we best do this? In the world. My switch is bad. I have a bad switch. It does light up brighter, but it doesn't light up very bright at all. And I can't get the switch to stay on, no matter. I have a bad switch. That sucks. If I press it down with this, now nothing seems to be functioning. If I was pressing down on it, I could get it to light for like a brief moment, and I can't get it to light at all. So I have a wiring problem. That totally blows. That completely sucks. Can't get it to come on. It was brighter. It was brighter. I'll say it was brighter. But it wasn't like bright. And I think it's because they're using a red bulb or an orange bulb, truthfully. What they could have done is they could have used like a laser light. That'd have been cool. I don't know if they had enough room for that. If I have to disassemble this, maybe I'll see if I can't figure out a way of putting a little laser light in there. But that's sad. I was really hoping to get that to work. Now I found out it's broke. Sideshow, Thanos is shipping in 14 days. Anything on the horizon, Hot Toys wise? No. Looks like pre-Star Wars lightsaber, light up, arm tech, or similar. Nice. My Thanos is shipping in 14 days. Thanos is a nice figure. He looks great. Love to get the Venom. I pre-ordered the what's called the Poison from who made that? Too Cool? Don't remember now. Thinking about pulling the trigger on Thanos, but I am wondering if a new Endgame Thanos will be released. It's a good question. I heard Luke Perry had a stroke, kind of shocked when the heartthrob gets a stroke as opposed to just a regular folks. Yeah, I didn't know that. Keep that light set up. It looks good on your video. Thanks, man. Thank you. I struggled with that for many, many, many months. So, and thank you for guys for sticking with me for all these years. All these years and years I've been doing this. Still haven't got it right. Yeah, this is really upsetting. I'm gonna have to disassemble this. And I was touting how great a job they had done on this. You can't get it to light at all. So I have a faulty switch or wiring. Gosh darn it. I didn't want to screw with that. Oh well, he still looks great no matter. And I think this was like a feature of the premium edition, the light up eye. So save yourself the extra $50 if you don't want to potentially have a problem with an eye that doesn't light up at all. I love my cable. Zip it, Thanos. Josh Brolin, Thanos and cable. Lights on all figures sort of sucks. Can't be helped. They all had that problem. Even Iron Man. Especially Iron Man, right? Especially Iron Man. I've had more problems than not, I would think. No, that's not true. I've had a lot of problems with my Iron Mans. Whiplash. Lights. Lights are a problem. You said it. You said it. What is this little piece? Where'd this come from? Oh no. I've got a broken piece on my Electro. Because I have now. A little circuit board that's fallen off someplace. And I've got to find out where it came from. Oh no. Where did it come from? Is it on his head? It is on his head. The circuit board came off of his head. Time for some super glue. Can't be a hot toy collector without owning super glue, model glue, Elmer's glue, scissors, knives, screwdrivers, tweezers, magnifying glasses, electrical cords, batteries, garbage cans, extra storage rooms for boxes, alternate figure stands. What else? What else is there that is requirement? Being a Hot Toys collector. What did I leave off of that list, guys? Sacre bleu. It's upside down. Oh no. Oh no. Which way does it go? Oh no. I'm going to put it in wrong. Well. Oh no. Totally messing this up. Oh God. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh God. I made a complete mess of this, but way too much super glue on, and I got glue smudge and smear all over the place. Oh, God. It's probably on upside down, too. Jeez. That's going to leave a little shiny where I did that at. Oh my goodness. I'm angry right now. That's why I put it on there. Jeez. I hope that's right. Oh my God. Yeah, you can't light up red very well. Really can't. It requires the most juice. Translucent on the head, where you put the light at the top of the head and lights turned on. Which figure you talking about, Robert? NECA kind of does that. I kind of prefer that better. I'm not familiar with that. My only experience with the red light is on the first release of the infamous War Machines. Yep. Yep, yep. But not as bright as like the white lights. White is easiest to light up. Easiest. Most easy. Look at that. Sheesh. Got super glue on my table. Not the first time. Certainly won't be the last time. But it sure torques me off every time I end up doing it. By the way, these little super glue bottles right here, I think I bought this bottle 4 years ago. And when you go and buy super glue, sometimes they come in these little tubes, and the bottle's good for like 3 uses, and then the bottle is totally worthless or useless. And I've used this. I bought, I think, 3 of these bottles 4 years ago, and I'm still on the first one, and the others are still perfectly fine. So if you can find these bottles of super glue, that's the way to do it, man. Right there. I've had to, on occasion, I'll show you, I've had to, on occasion, pop in to get into there more, and this no longer seals on it properly, but I still put it on there because anything to keep the air out is what's important in keeping your super glue liquid. So that's how that works. But yeah, these little bottles, man. Sheesh. That's the best bottles of super glue. Got my Hulk and Thor, how I'm going to have them displayed, I think. I don't know if you guys can see that. So we'll do my Hulk and Thor. And Ragnarok. I don't have the original War Machine Mark 1. I have a War Machine Mark 1, but it's the diecast remake. I never bought a War Machine Mark 1, original War Machine Mark 1. None of them, whether it was the black and white or the regular. And it was one of those things where I planned on it, and then when the diecast came out, it's like, why? What's even the point now? Truthfully, only needed one, I felt. But I have them displayed against Whiplash 2 with Mark 6, and I have multiple Mark 6s, and I have all my other War Machines just like in a static pose, where they're just like in a row, as though Rhodey has a War Machine collection like Tony does with his Iron Man. So I can't comment on how bright that one is. And the complete toolbox. There you go, Noble. You're right, man. A complete toolbox. Hammer, drill, circular saw. To be a Hot Toys collector, you certainly need it all. Trying to get this little screw in here. Thought I just threw it on the ground. I hope we get all the Spider-Man, at least from the Spider-Verse movie, or from the video game. What's the name of that video game? I love Spider-Man. What is wrong with me? You don't have to answer that. Don't answer that, actually. You're not allowed to answer that. The list would be way too long. I ain't even going to tell you where that screw went. It like flew up here, bounced off my shoulder, then I heard it hit the ground. I'm going to have to get the magnet. I'm going to have to get the magnet out to find it. Ah, there it is. And a huge bank account. Huge. I don't know if y'all know Terrence. Probably has, from what I've seen, the largest privately owned Hot Toys collection in the world. That dude has, I would not be far from saying that he has 3 of every Iron Man suit made by Hot Toys. And he has a ton of collectible pieces and custom pieces. So he has, from what I've seen of his collection, he has every limited edition one ever made. And he has a lot of custom pieces. He has essentially every one of the armors. Even the ones that Hot Toys hasn't made, he has them made by a collector. So he has like the Mark 18 Casanova, kit bashed, and the Mark 8, and the Mark 9, and the Mark 10. Speaking of Mark 8, the Mark 8 actually is the suit at the end of Iron Man 3 that Pepper uses the arm to ignite the missile that she kicks onto Killian, which eventually destroys him. Not the Mark 9. It's the Mark 8. Not the Mark 9. It's the Mark 8. So we never got that armor from the movie that she used. They gave us a Mark 9 in error. And I love my Mark 9, but that is not the suit that she used at the end of the movie. By the way, in case y'all did not know that, that is the case. Research it. You'll see the feet don't match, the chest don't match, if you look at it. Every now and again I tell myself that I'm going to make a little video talking about that. But you can research it. You'll see it. Endos with translucent red top of head. You put light in it and see it shine through the eyes. I think that's better and cheaper. I'll have to check that out. Which armor to tell me that would be the Mark IV. But I'm imagining all of them he does. Because he was at his birthday party when he was deciding that he wasn't going to live. He was dying. The platinum that he was using, I think it was platinum, that he was using to get they were corroding out from his arc reactor in his chest, and he's getting like the digital cross, word thing going on in his body, and he was dying, and he's like, F this, I'm gonna have a big party, I'm just gonna enjoy life, and it's gonna be over soon. And while he was drunk in his house, he goes, the question I always get asked is, how does I go to the bathroom in my Iron Man suit? Just like that. Mark IV. And that's when Rhodes shows up in the Mark II and shuts it down. And then we see him waking up from his party, more or less, inside of Randy's Donuts, eating his donut. And then we see him down, and Nick Fury showing up, and it says, "Sir, I'm going to need you to step out of the donut, please," or something to that effect. And that is how that goes down. And I have a handful of the Mark IVs. This is my Mark IV die-cast. I have with him with his little donut there. And his little Randy's Donut coffee cup, which it doesn't say that on it. And this just says fresh donuts. But I have the original release that came with the donuts and the coffee cup, and I had the re-release, and they both come with the glasses. And so the die-cast came with these too. It's a great suit. It's so funny. More love is applied to the Mark 6 than the Mark 4, and they're identical. They're identical suits for the most part. Color scheme is really the only difference. Triangular versus round arc reactor. This is the Mark 4. The one that he relieved himself in. And then he's like, it's got a recirculating, cleansing thing in it, the suit, so he's like, you can drink it. Like that makes it any better. About to grab lunch. See you next week, Siri. Thank you, Rick, Ruben, I would love to pick up any Iron Man translucent armors, but that's wishful thinking. I had an opportunity to buy a couple of them, and I think they were selling for $1,000 a piece. 1,000. That's a lot of money, dude. What I did get is this. If I can get it down here. Say a piece I really like a lot. Having difficulty reaching him. Okay. Let me start over here. Ace. Sorry guys, give me a minute. Oh my goodness. I'm going to move everything to get to this guy. Alright. So I had to move him to get to where I'm getting at. Right, so this is a Mark 7 Stealth, which is a really neat figure when it came out 4 years ago. Was it that long ago? And so what it was supposed to represent was his ability to fade in and out, right? Chromium reflective panels. They discussed it in Iron Man 3, and we never seen it in any of the movies. But this is what it was supposed to represent. And so there's a third-party company that made, at that time, these translucent pieces right here. And I ordered them, and I think also the chest. Yeah, the chest and the thighs, the right arm, and I think the left hand also came as translucent. And over time, this right hand, it was originally blue, it faded into this yellow. So in the molding process, that happened. But these all come off, and the arm is posable. So it's really neat that they did that they were able to do that, casting this piece as such. It's fragile, and I think that even cost me like a couple $100. I don't remember. So really pleased with that. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but I really am happy that I got a hold of that. And yeah, could you imagine having a whole set like Terrence does of the translucent figures? I'm pleased with this one as it is. And this also comes off of his bicep too. So you can do that, you know, different pieces. That's why I did that. And the reason he has a gold faceplate, because the original does not, is I broke his faceplate. Totally smashed it. When I was moving my pieces around, I dropped the table on the faceplate. Couldn't believe I did that. But, so I'm missing the faceplate for that guy. So here's the, I don't know if you remember him or not, but this is it. So that's what he looks like without, you know, the arm. There you go. Sometimes called the chocolate, but it's the stealth, because they made the chocolate version too. Exact same armor, different base plate. You see his junk. Or you see his breakfast. Yeah, right. Great figure, one of the best die-cast Iron Man armors. Mark IV, 100%. You think Hot Toys is going to die-cast them? Die-cast them. Which ones? The stealth? And no, I don't think that they are going to. They might surprise me, but I doubt it. It was a big money maker for them, but I doubt it. Because these are cool pieces. The stealth and the, I forget whether this is called Subarctic or Sub-Zero. I think it's called Subarctic. Don't remember. And I love both of these pieces. And a die-cast would be cool. But I guarantee you customizers will be doing that. I bet you Sam Kwok will do it. I'm curious how different the die-cast Mark VII is going to be over these. You know what I mean? I'm curious as to just how different it is going to be. I love the Mark VII. You can display it in so many capacities. So many different configurations. On or off with the little chest vents. On or off with the main chest piece, on or off with the shoulders, open or closed with the shoulders. So you either have missile pods or you don't have missile pods, and you have missile pods displayed, missile pods not. You have the thigh pieces with the missiles displayed on them, thigh pieces with the missiles not displayed on them, or without the missile thigh piece at all, just a smooth thigh piece. I mean, there's so many ways you can display the Mark VII. I mean, so many ways. And he's just an amazing piece. I really like how they did these. They were neat. Not screen seen. This one's not even screen mentioned. All the little micro printing on this is just really cool. It's good looking armor. So many shades of white on there. It's not even funny. Love it. Love this guy. Thank you, Ruben. Thank you very much. Always wanted that LED holographic table display. That looks badass. I think NECA did that same effect on an Everest Predator's piece. Oh, man. I wish I had the money to collect the Predator, Hot Toy Predator stuff. That's cool. Seriously, NECA needs to do a quarter-scale Ant-Man or even Godzilla for that matter. Yeah, a quarter-scale Ant-Man for fact would be cool. That would be great, actually. I search all the time for a one-to-one Ant-Man from Civil War. I'd like to get like one of the display pieces that they put up at that Hot Toys or whomever did, Disney or whomever did, when they were showing the movie and they had these one-to-one pieces, because that would be a perfect giant man. Because that's like about the size that he was in the airport, you know, as he's holding War Machine in his hand. I mean, that's about the size of him. It would be a 1/6 scaled giant man. A 1-to-1 Ant-Man Civil War would be a 1/6 scaled giant man. And all you'd have to do would be just to change out the little colors of the pin particle pieces that turn him to large. I think it's red is what he would end up being. Red in that regards. Man, I would love to get that. I don't know how much one of those would cost. A few $1,000s, I imagine, but it's a requirement as far as I'm concerned for my collection. He would definitely be a requirement because I buy all the little pieces just like I was showing you. So here's my Civil Wars over here. I am in Civil War. Here. Show you what I'm talking about. I need a 1.9. It's been an hour putting all my figures back. But here's my Ant-Man. Got 4 of them here. Civil War Ant-Mans. There's this guy right down here, about yay tall. And then that guy right there, about yay tall. And then a 1/12 scale, a 1/6 scale. So yeah, I need my giant man. So a 1/4 scale NECA would work, because that would make him what? 24 inches, right? No. 24, 48, 96. That'd be too much. What would it be? 72 divided by 4 is what? 4 going to 7, leaves 32. Be 18 inches. So it'd be 18 inches tall. So that would be as tall as, well, Hulk and Igor, I think, are 16 inches. So it'd be a little bit bigger than this. Yeah, that'd be perfect. That'd be like a giant man, right? That'd be about as big as he is right there. Because that's Igor standing on his own. So I imagine he'd be about yay big. That'd be perfect. Yeah. Let me get a neck at 1/4 scale. Beautifully sculpted Civil War Ant-Man. Or Ant-Man and the Wasp, because he also grows there. I think he probably grows bigger than he did in Civil War. I think he got much bigger, as Giant Man did. Didn't he claim he was, what do you say? How tall did you say in Ant-Man and the Wasp? I think it's more than 20 feet. So 6 feet times, to be 1/6 scale, 6 of them, 6 and 6, 36 feet. So in Civil War, I'm assuming he got up to 36 feet. How tall did you say he got in Ant-Man and the Wasp? So Siri, does Igor have a home? Jason, he does not. Sorry to say. I'm going to get that Ant-Man on the bullet. The reason I passed on that, for my personal experience, my personal preference, was I didn't care for it being out of scale for 1/6. But was it like one scale? Is that what it was? Truthfully, was it truthfully like a 1-to-1 scale? By the way, if you guys ever want these batteries, let me know, man. I will sell you these batteries. Because they just go in a box to sit forever and don't ever get used. I have so many of these batteries, it's not even funny. But if you guys use the batteries, and you want these batteries, throw me a couple of bucks. I mean, come on. You know these batteries are not cheap. But they'd be pure profit item for me to turn around and sell them. And I'm not guaranteeing you really that any of them work. But I'd sell you these batteries for a couple of bucks. You pay for shipping and handling, whatever else. And I'll make it worth your while. I'm not going to cheat you, and if the batteries are bad, I should get a little tester and test them before sending them out to you. But I'll take care of you, man. They're not doing me any good. I'm going to go right in the box. All these batteries. But yeah, definitely 1/4 scale Ant-Man Civil War would be perfect. And what was the one that I just got today? I've got these guys that I got last week, or maybe the week before, I don't remember now. Right here for Ant-Man and the Wasp. 1/12 scale figures. So they'll be in this type of a arrangement as well when it comes out. And what did I get today? Kind of breezed over it real quick. SH Figure Arts from Ant-Man and the Wasp. A little bit smaller than this guy, which works. Marvel Legends SH Figure Arts. Because I have the first Ant-Man, I've got much more of him sized up. Every time I try to move him, he always falls apart. I've got the little Hyundai. I've got an extra one of these if anybody wants to buy it. I paid $100 for it. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Guys, so got them on 2 stands. So there's 3 of them right there, and then these guys. King Arts, 1/9. And there's that. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't have as small as of an Ant-Man as I do over here from Civil War. But there they are. I like that. I like displaying them like that, especially when the pieces look properly. So like his little eyes are wrong here, and I think about painting them red instead of that orange, or like these little orange pieces here, painting them red instead of the orange that they are. It's just not worth it really to mess with it. Well enough, you can tell who it is. Little antenna broke off of this King Arts piece. Got these from Big Bad Toy Store. So quarter scale definitely of this. I don't remember him getting bigger in this suit. So it's like, what's the point in getting a 1/4 scale Ant-Man here? I suppose you could, but no, I'd want him to be from Civil War because he actually did become Giant Man Civil War. I wanted to get that Ant-Man on the bullet. No, Jason, doesn't have a home. He's got a home in my house. Did you like that little video where we went and picked him up on Bumblebee? That was kind of in response to the Nobi's Igor needing a home, but he doesn't have a home. You know, one of the people had asked me, I haven't seen them back on a Saturday morning show. They were here with me for several weeks, and they asked if what was the point I was getting at? I can't remember now what I was going to say. But anyhow, oh yeah, they asked if I felt Igor was a suit that Tony wore, or was Igor a robot? And that had gotten me thinking even then, and still to this day, I believe Igor was a robot. And he probably didn't really have a Hall of Armor to stand in, because he probably, just like Dummy and you, he probably helped out around the house like all the time, doing all the construction and heavy lifting and all of that. To tell you the truth, that was probably you know, the first autonomous on its own suit that just did its thing. It's just not designed practically for him to be in. He'd have to more or less sit in it, almost like in a ball, like the old World War II turrets that some of the people, the soldiers, had to sit in order to be able to control. It was like almost like being sitting in a little curled up little position. That's almost what Tony would have to be into to sit into Igor, because the arms are not properly placed, nor are the legs. And we see in Hulkbuster, he's barely able to get into that. There was even speculation that the way they designed it, they couldn't. But obviously you can see because the Mark 42 fits in there. And so he can get in there, but Igor, I still don't think there's any way. So the question was Igor designed as a suit, or was Igor designed as a robot? And it appears that possibly Tony started him off as a suit and then just made him into a robot. And that would mean that Igor probably doesn't actually have a home. He probably just lived down there taking care of things and doing his construction and keeping things up. It's hard to say. Life-size Ant-Man 2. They did an Iron Man, Spidey, Hardy, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Where do you buy those? Siri, Igor's right foot looks like he is having suicidal tendencies. Let's push him back. What's going on with his right foot? Ah! Igor, don't do it. We love you, Igor. Don't go anyplace. I like having his little head just kind of canted just a little bit. Like he's like contemplating, just looking at you. I love my Igor. That's another one that's on sale, man. I think I paid $500 for him originally, and now you can get him for $200 or $300 with the discount. If you don't have an Igor yet, I recommend him. He's a great figure, and he's cute and lovable, and he's durable. I mean, I really don't feel that I have to be careful with him. I don't feel like I'm going to damage him. Of course, you know, that would be silly to say that you couldn't damage him, but he just seems solid. He just seems solid. Yeah, his little ankles are getting a little weak there, so you definitely want to be mindful in posing him. But he just seems solid. Look at him. What an amazing piece. And the little pieces back here, they ratchet, just like in the movie. So you can open those up. This is a little rubber one. Like that. And so you can go click, 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 click. And he stretches. If I remember correctly. I think he does. Thought he did. It's been a long time since I played with him. I thought he stretched. These pop up. Right there. So you can get those up higher. Lock them in place. His little head kind of does like a little turtle. So you can look them left, and look them right, up, and down. So it does this and that. See that? And then this as well moves. See that? So you get a lot of cute poses, more or less. You can have them look inquisitive. You put them down or up. Like I said, I kind of like them off, looking kind of off to the side. But no, I don't think that Tony could essentially really walk in him. I think he would have to be curled up in this, just like a turret from World War II. He would literally just be sitting in this. So if it was a suit, this is where he'd sat, in this body portion of it, right here. Like just sitting in a little curled up ball position. So that's possible. But no way did he walk in this like a suit. Not a chance. No way. These little things here flip down. They don't go forward or back. They just flip down. And I don't think he comes with anything. He doesn't come with any accessories. I don't think he comes with an extra set of hands. I think he just has just these articulated fingers. And everything in him is just like larger. So the arc reactor is larger, and the repulsor thrusters in his hands are larger, and the battery compartment is really easy to get into because it's just larger. It's almost like as if when they designed him, they just took an Iron Man figure and just stretched it. So I love my Igor. And he comes with all the stripes already on him, unlike the Peacekeeper, the 36, where you have to put the little stripes on him. This guy already comes with all the little stripes. I did a review of him. I love my Igor. And I think you would too. If you haven't gotten one, you'll get them cheaper than what I paid for him. He's a win-win. Ant-Man skeleton from Old Man Logan. Really? Is there an Ant-Man skeleton in Old Man Logan? How often do you check your Siri@Gmail account list on YouTube? As in, like, what, messages? Did you send me a message? I don't check it that often. But if you send me an email to Siri@Gmail, I get those forwarded to my email. So those I see, but sometimes they get sent to spam. As I can imagine all of you do as well, I probably get 500 or so emails a day. And so I have to just quickly scan through them. So if I don't respond to you on an email, it's not because I blew you off or whatever, because I don't blow anybody off unless I'm telling you I'm blowing you off. And even then, it takes a lot for me to blow you off. But if I didn't respond to an email you sent, by all means, please send it again. I respond to everything, but I especially respond to YouTube. I see I have a message on YouTube I need to respond to. But if you've sent me an email that I haven't responded to, don't think it wasn't because I didn't respond to your email. It's because it probably got lost in spam history. So, and not because necessarily it was marked as spam, but because it probably wasn't sent to like my preferred senders list. And I just kind of breeze through all my junk mail, only because there's so many stuff that doesn't go there. It really should be going to me. So I just breeze through them real quickly. But I get so many Facebook notifications in there as well, if you can imagine. And so I ended up quickly going, blah, 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 blah. I mean, you're going through 500, I may end up skipping over one that was really important. So if you ever send me one and I didn't respond, send it again. Or send like 2 or 3 at the same time so that they get my attention when I see them, like in a row. I'll be like, oh, okay, and then I'll get it. But if you're sending me an email and we have a communication that's created, I'll put you on my senders list, and then it won't go into spam at all. So I hope that's an answer that you were looking for. It's kind of like the truthful answer, if that makes any sense. How long have we been on? Wow. 2 hours, 45 minutes. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I've got a lot of stuff on pre-order, just waiting for it to arrive. I pre-ordered the re-edit Sentinel Iron Spider. I'm really looking forward to that piece. It really resembles the Scarlet Spider or the Iron Spider from comics. So I'm really looking forward to that. It looks like it probably could use some help. I don't necessarily think that it's perfectly designed looking at the pictures I've seen of it, but it's going to work for me, if that makes any sense for what I want. I was so trying to do that carefully without dropping and damaging them, and I ended up dropping them all over. I should have just put them up there the way I should have known I was going to do it in the first place. So hopefully that re-edit Sentinel Spider-Man will come soon. I'm really looking forward to that piece. Like I said, Thanos is coming out. Black Panther is coming out. Killmonger, got him on order. I pre-ordered all the Black Panther pieces. A lot of people were really upset that it didn't win Best Picture. I didn't think it was the best picture. I never did think it was the best picture. I never thought it was like the best Marvel movie I'd seen. was a good movie. Really enjoyed the Black Panther. I'm buying all the pieces. You know, I got T'Chaka and T'Challa. But no, it was never, in my opinion, the best movie ever. I thought it was visually stunning. So I'm not one of these crying, whining people that, you know, that it didn't win the Oscar. I didn't see Green Book, but yeah, I'm definitely getting all the Black Panther armors, or I mean figures that they come out with, and they can't come out with enough of them as far as I'm concerned. I'd like to see, I forget the names of his guards. I'd like to see those. I'd like to see the ones in the purple. I'd like to see M'Baku and all the other more or less leaders. All of them, man. Make them all. I'd buy every one of them. That's the absolute truth. As long as I got money to pay for them, I'd buy them all. I have no problem with any of the Black Panther characters. They're great. But no, I never looked at that and said to myself, oh, this is the Oscar winner. This movie definitely deserves the Oscar for Best Picture. Never was that in my mind, ever. Never, ever. And I think it's very amateurish for anybody to say that. It just wasn't the best picture. It wasn't the best one, period. Hate to say it. I know there's a lot of haters out there that hate on me for saying that, but that's the truth. It's a great movie. It wasn't the best movie. I mean, best? The best of the best? No way. No way. But it did win an Oscar for something, didn't it? I was positive it did. I know Spider-Verse did. Didn't it win like Best Animation or something? That was definitely deserving. Really enjoyed that movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely do. It's a requirement. And the little Ant-Man took a nosedive off. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. I'm glad you guys do. In-game trailer. Yeah, I've seen the in-game trailer, a couple of them. The first one I've seen, I think I did a reaction video to it, watching it when it first came out. And I'm not afraid to say, proud to say, I'm actually proud to say, it made me cry. The first one made me cry. And I think they did a second one too. But I try not to watch too many of the trailers because I want to be surprised in the movie. And too many times when they make these trailers, they end up ruining the movie. Because you see in the trailer things that probably would have been best revealed in the movie. A lot of times, though, they show scenes in a trailer that never even make it into a movie. So, like there's a scene of Hulk charging in Infinity Wars as Hulk. And of course, you know, spoiler alert here, talking about Infinity Wars. In Infinity Wars, he has Hulk dysfunction. He's unable to Hulk out. So there is no Hulk charging in Infinity Wars, but he's there in I think in the trailer or an image that they snuck to us. It didn't happen. So, and like from my understanding, the Batman Justice League movie or whatever, not Batman Justice, but the Justice League movie, evidently the trailers on that, like nothing in the trailers made it to the movies. Speaking of the DC movies, Aquaman was an amazing DC movie. Amazing DC movie. From my understanding, and I haven't seen Wonder Woman, from my understanding, those were the best DC movies. I really was blown away by Aquaman. Really good movie. Which figures are you expecting next, and what can we look forward to? Definitely, I'm like I said, the Sentinel re-edit should be coming soon. Of Spider-Man, Iron Spider, the red with the gold, which is very similar to the Ultimate Spider-Man, I think is what it was. Our Iron Spider. So I've got that coming. I've got Killmonger coming. I've got the Black Panther coming. I've got Thanos coming. I've got if it's coming, it's coming. I've pre-ordered everything. I pre-ordered the Doctor Strange from Infinity War, I think is what it was. Or maybe it was from the Doctor Strange movie. It must have been from Doctor Strange. It must have been from Infinity War. And when he came, you know, I pre-ordered it through Sideshow. So, of course, I had to put down a hefty deposit for him. And then when they were ready to take the rest of the money, I didn't have the rest of the money to give them. And so they canceled my pre-order and kept my money. And so I was out whatever it was, $30, $40, I don't even remember now. That upset me, but so I'm not getting him. And that's fine because the head sculpt is different and better and updated. And not that there's anything wrong with the first one, but it's definitely the head sculpt from the new movie. And I do wish I had that. But other than that, really, Doctor Strange is still Doctor Strange. So it didn't really make me that angry. I didn't really miss out. It did kind of make me angry. It kept my money. It kept my money. YouTubers say that there is time traveling in Endgame. I've been saying that. I've been saying that from like the beginning. I have a feeling, if you want to talk about that, I have a feeling that we're going back to the Battle of New York. Back to the moment where Tony flies in the Mark 7 up and throws the nuclear missile in through the hole to detonate out there. I have a feeling he's going for broke. I have a feeling he's going to fly that nuclear missile straight into Thanos' lap. I have a feeling there's going to be a big change in things. Kevin Feige has said that the characters that died in Infinity War are truthfully dead. That's what he said. He said that the characters that they killed off in Infinity War are dead. Dead. Not coming back to life, but dead. So what that makes me think is, as we know from Star Trek, whenever there's a time-traveling paradox is created, an alternate universe exists. And I think what's going to happen, just as they've done with the X-Men, but I think they did it to the detriment of X-Men's success. I think Earth 199999, I think, which is what they consider the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is going to be pretty much abandoned at this point. Because what's the point in continuing on that story with half of all humanity gone? So that'll just be the tragic Earth 199999. Because in your time traveling, you, as we learn in Star Trek, you just create an alternate dimension at that point. So if you go back in time, you can't fix the time you're in. You just create a new dimension. That makes sense. So like in Cable's actual time frame that he's in, his wife and daughter are truthfully still dead. So even though he's gone back in time and stopped Rusty, is that his name? From becoming the bad guy, and his little teddy bear went back to not being singed, you know, a new timeline immediately was created at that point. So there's the timeline where Cable's wife and daughter are dead, And he actually isn't even in that timeline anymore. He's now in the new timeline that's been created. So I have a feeling that's what's going to happen with the MCU. Hot Toys era Parasite. What is Parasite? No, I didn't. The Hot Toys era, Toys era Parasite. Not Parasite. I got the Poison, which was made by not Toys era, somebody else. But I've looked at the Poison, the Parasite. That's the one that actually has the actor in there, right? Because the Poison is just Venom, and he is and the Parasite, I think, is the one where you actually have, and I forget the name of the actor that plays Eddie Brock. And I have not ordered that, but I plan on it. Yes, I do plan on getting that one. So one's called Parasite, and the other one's called Poison. They're two different ones. Poison is made by one company, and it doesn't have the Eddie Brock in it. It's just Venom. Bring on the Zombies. Siri, thanks for another great time. Thank you, Ruben. Thanks for stopping in. Definitely, I'll be here next week. Even if I don't have a figure, I'll talk about things. Actually, I still got the Chitauri Warriors that I haven't unboxed yet, and that goes back to the time traveling thing. So, see how that works out. If I ever go, man, I would love to go to San Diego Comic-Con. I would definitely do that. I've never been, and I don't even know how to do that, to tell you the truth. I don't even know how to get to San Diego Comic-Con. I mean, I'm not saying I don't know how to get to San Diego Comic-Con. What I'm saying is I don't know how to get the tickets and all that, and if any of y'all know how I can get tickets, do let me know, because I would be there. If I got to sleep in my car, if I got to go down there and sleep in the Bumblebee, and I don't know if I'd bring the Bumblebee or if I'd bring the Mercedes. I love my Mercedes because it drives itself. I love my Bumblebee because he's Bumblebee. But if I had to sleep in my car because I couldn't find a hotel, I would still do that, man. But I don't even know how to get tickets to the doggone thing. I go to the website and you can't even buy the tickets or whatever. You got to like bewilder them or something. I don't even know. If any of y'all know, like I've called out to you before, let me know, dude. Let me know what I got to do to get these SDCC tickets, because I would definitely be there for fact. I told Denobi to start a fight on the live stream at SDCC. I told him to tell someone, you pushed me and pushed someone else. Oh my God, you guys are cruel. He chickened out. Yeah, I think I would chicken out too. I'd start a fight with Denobi though. You know, I think we could get along with that. But I like Denobi. I think he does great videos. Yeah, I bet it was, man. Oh, so you were right there. See, I don't even know how to get the tickets. But that was probably back before it was as huge of a deal as it is now. I mean, I'm not saying it's not always been a big deal. It's always been a big deal. But I mean, now it's like a huge deal. You know what I'm saying? It's beyond like big deal. It's huge. Huge, huge, huge. I would so definitely go. For fact. Right? See, I don't even know how to get tickets. Collection Obsession. I have no idea even how. Like I said, I've gone to the website and I don't see anywhere where I can even get tickets. So if y'all have any way of hooking me up, hook me up. And I don't mean like, you know, they don't have to be free tickets. I'll buy the tickets. I can't even get the tickets. So, take care of me, Maya. Hook me up. I need a Spider-Man to go with my Electro now. I got for $50 from Big Bad Toy Store. Check them out. You can't go wrong for $50. I didn't even know there was a remake Time Machine. The remake Time Machine? That's what you're talking about. Obadiah with the short neck. He needs a longer neck, doesn't he? I think that's all he needs. Just a longer neck, and he'll look right. Put a longer neck on him. I think he looks wrong because of the neck. Looks like I squished the suit down. His legs seem a little bit disproportionate. What's his name? Jeff Bridges? Is that who played this? You have to pre-register for SEC tickets and then get in line online, and maybe you might get chosen to buy tickets. And that's stupid. See, that's how I'm unable to get the doggone things. That's way too much work. I don't even know what that process would even be. Like you're saying, you have to pre-register to register. It's because because there are guys that like get them no matter what, every single year, no matter what. And I don't understand all that. So, I don't know, dude. I don't have any idea. I don't know, obviously. But yeah, I would love to go there. Never been there. Put my figures back. Put my Loki back. And they will all be back. I just bought my tickets when I got there back in the day. Right? I don't think you can do that anymore. Yeah, I don't think you can do that anymore. And that's too far of a drive. What is that like? For me, it's, I think, like 600-mile drive or a flight. That's too far just to hope that I could buy tickets on when I get there. That's just too far to go just for that. That's cool. $40 from Dave Dorman. He did the Dark Empire covers in AVP. All right, Jason. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh my goodness, that is late. Yeah, 10 o'clock here in sunny California. So I appreciate you guys hanging with me again. I really do. And I hope that you enjoy it as much as I do. And I will see you all next week. Hopefully I've got something. If nothing, I've got something. Got a couple things. I'm going to work on this kid Deadpool kid. See if I can't start getting him put together. Turn him into what I want him to be. Because I envision it. I think it'll work out good. I think that'll be fun. That's my intent. Alright guys, I will see you all next week. Unless I got something else going on. Captain Marvel comes out, what? This week? I'll be checking that out. So see y'all. Thanks. Bye.